Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to DDP. I'm your instructor, Mr. Schwartz, and this is the second of 4 videos that comprise the introduction to DDP. This video will be a course overview where we'll examine different aspects of technology, and you'll learn what to expect from this class. Let's get started. So what is DDP? First of all, it's a class that all incoming freshmen take at Brooklyn Technical High School. Design and Drafting for Production, DDP, is a high school level course that is appropriate for 9th or 10th grade students who are interested in design and engineering or another technical career. The major focus of this DDP course is to expose students to a design process, professional communication and collaboration methods, which basically means group work, design ethics, what makes good and bad design, and technical documentation, and all sorts of charting and data, because we want our decisions to be based on solid evidence and data that we collect. All right, what to expect. So this curriculum is broken up into different sections as I see it. The first part is going to focus on group work and brainstorming, also the design process and applying that to coming up with different ideas, keeping an engineer's notebooks and concept sketching, and developing good work habits in general, the way an engineer would. So again, we're going to be charting data, brainstorming, and inventing, basically. Part 2 is going to be technical drawings and different aspects of that. So there's going to be orthographic projections, multi-view drawings, linear perspective, isometric views. These are all terms that seem strange now, but you'll become familiar with over the course of this curriculum. Part 3 is CAD, or Computer Assisted Design. This is going to be on either Autodesk Inventor or Autodesk Fusion 360. You're going to be learning all different aspects of sketching, 3D modeling, dimensioning, creating presentations, assemblies, and parametric modeling. Part 4 is physical modeling projects, where you're actually going to be building things like actual 3D objects or projects. So we'll get more into that as we get further along into the course, but you can expect to do something like that. Part 5 are your final exams and portfolio review. As I mentioned in the first video, you will have a final exam that's going to cover all of the content of this course. And the portfolio review is a visual documentation of all of the work and how you completed it, and that is going to be presented and submitted at the end of the course. Moving on. Okay, so this is our official presentation here. Technology and engineering. These are different terms that you should and will become familiar with throughout the course of this class, but mainly in the beginning, we're going to be hearing these terms a lot. Technology, obviously, engineer, invention, product, solution, innovation, trade-off, brainstorming, piling on, and creativity. So the idea is to invent, brainstorm, and come up with ideas together and as an individual. What is technology? Technology is anything that is invented, anything that is used to solve a problem, You may ask yourself, is it desk technology? Something that isn't a computer? Does it solve a problem? Basically anything that is built that is used by people for a purpose is some sort of technology. The design process, which we'll get into later on, is behind the invention of all of these things. And what we want to show you is that you can use the design process and apply it to any problem, whether it's a shopping cart or a car or a building. But we'll get into that a little further down the road. Can technology be negative? Here are examples of how they obviously can. Technology creates waste, medical, things that go into the air and pollute our environment. But what we want to do is we want to look at the products that we create, and we want to see whether the goods outweigh the bads. And what that is called in this course is a trade-off. A trade-off is an exchange, let me move myself from here, an exchange of one thing in return for another, especially relinquishment of one benefit or advantage for another, regarded as more desirable. So you may say, you know, this machine makes our water clean very quickly, but it lets off a stinky odor. Can we put up with the stinky odor in exchange for clean water? These are the kinds of questions that inventors and engineers are constantly asking themselves as they invent products. Moving on. This is just to remind you that the chain of product invention, it goes way up to big industry heads and all the way down to the person on the assembly line or the person designing the concept or the sketch. It goes from small all the way to very large. Brainstorming. Okay, so this is something that you're going to be asked to do in the first assignment and for the following 4 or 5 assignments. You always want to keep brainstorming and these rules in the back of your head. They will be repeated to you intermittently throughout the course to keep them in the front of your mind. But the rules for brainstorming is no criticism allowed. Okay, even if somebody comes up with an idea that you think is stupid, you always have to consider it and treat it as you would any other idea. There are no stupid ideas. Everything is worth considering, and nobody should feel unsafe speaking up against their ideas. You want to create a safe environment for everyone to pile on, which is the next one, which is just start coming up with ideas rapidly. Think of anything outside the box, but just keep adding to your original solutions. And you want to work for quantity. That means the more the better. The more solutions you have, the more ideas that you have, the more people you can get on it, the more data, information, feedback, and all those things you can get, the better and more options you'll have. So that's what work for quantity means. And allow for a free-for-all, meaning that this is an informal environment in which to share ideas, and that people should be allowed to spontaneously yell out ideas when they come to them, because that is the way inspiration hits us. Sometimes we have to get it out before the idea disappears. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but sometimes it's better to get it out in the moment than sit on it and forget it. And above all, be creative. Creativity is rewarded in this class, okay? So thinking outside the box and solving your problems is always rewarded. These are the brainstorming techniques more formally that you'll be asked to do. This is to keep ideas in your head. When you run out of ideas of how to brainstorm, these are what I would consider suggestions of keeping your brain well lubricated. Substitute something. Okay, like what could we use instead? This is the solution. This is the easy solution, but is there something that might work differently but better? Who knows? Combine it with something else. What can we add to either make it better or work work more quickly or more efficiently. Adapt something to it. What can be added to it to make it look better, to make it work faster? Magnify or add to it. Enlarge something that's already there, or change it in some way, which is modify. So you want to always think about not accepting the first result or the first answer or solution, but go through these steps to change, evolve, add, expand, put it to some other use. Can it be used for some other thing? Just take an idea and keep going inside out and deeper inside into it. Rearrange it. Can we take the order of what we're doing and sort of mix it up, so maybe the end is the beginning and the beginning is the end, and vice versa? And how would that work? So we want to always be asking lots of questions during brainstorming techniques. Reverse it. How would it work going backwards? So when we are approaching a challenge, you want to always just keep this in the back of your mind and go through them as a list. This is how you can maximize your ideas and get the best out of it. Well, that's all for this lesson. For any follow-up questions, you can find me in the office hours. I want you to move on to the next video where we'll discuss in great detail your engineer's notebook. So I'll see you there. Take care.